Thank you so much for coming and joining today. I'm hoping we've got some repeat visitors. This is very exciting when I get to come along to these things and get to meet and greet with a whole bunch of people that I have met in only online, and hopefully at some point. I know that we are in discussions with a Teach Me in Adelaide at some point. Hopefully some of you guys will be able to come along and we'll actually meet in real life as well. Today we're going to be jumping in and having a look at Canva websites. So let's get started. Thank you so much for the introduction there, Abigail. My name is Jo and I am from a primary school background. So my apologies to anyone in high school when I demonstrate things or discuss things. That is my background. So I tend to, think about students up to about grade 6, but obviously anything and everything within Canva, especially the use of websites, is very applicable and very good skill development for our high school students as well. So as well as being a teacher for more than 20 years, I am a Canva creator. All of the educational resources that you find in Canva have been created by verified teachers. A Canvassador, which is like an ambassador for Canva, and now have just jumped into a Canva learning consultant role, which I think is absolutely incredible. I get to share the joy and love of Canva with teachers around Australia. So what I do is completely and utterly free. I Zoom into schools, I teach teachers, I teach staff, I teach students. If that's something you're interested in, I'm here to help. So jump on in, let's get into our Canva accounts. If you'd like to drop into the chat your comfort level with Canva. If you're a 0, give me a 0. I'm totally okay with it being people's first time in Canva as well. I put myself at a 4.5 purely because even though I'm in and using Canva every single day, there is so many new features constantly being rolled out in Canva that for me, it's something that I try to keep on top of, and there's always something new to learn. I know that a lot of people come into Canva and they feel a little bit overwhelmed. They're not really sure where to start. But these sessions are designed to help you show just how easy and intuitive the software is. And I know that Abigail has recorded these sessions in the past, and if you haven't watched any of the previous one, that she'll be able to direct you at some point as to where they are located so that you can jump in and learn all about all the other cool things we've learned about within Canva. Because I know that a lot of people sort of think Canva is a place to make a cool poster, or I made that social media post, for my husband's business on Canva or whatever it may be. This is just a snapshot of some of the other things that you can do within Canva. I've created my CV in there, student flashcards for my kids to practice their sounds and their spelling words, worksheets, newsletters, websites, AI created proposals for co-curricular clubs. If you need it created within a digital format, you can create it within your free Canva education account. So here's what we're going to look at today. What websites are we're going to actually just have a look at how easy it is to actually create a website within Canva, then to publish it and share it with our audience. We are going to have a couple of hands-on activities where we're going to brainstorm together and then go in there and actually customize an existing one so that we know how to go away and build our own. We never have to create anything from scratch. Canva has a whole bunch of websites pre-built that you can customize to suit your need, and you can use your brand kit there to really make it on brand for your school circumstance there as well. So let's have a quick look at how we can easily use Canva to create websites within mere minutes. So a friend of mine has been building a website for her company. She's been paying a guy who's, charging her copious amounts of money to do lots of things that she can do so easily within Canva. And once I sat her down, she put her head in her hands and, the poor thing, she realized just how easy it was to do it within Canva. So hopefully today you'll have some of those little light bulb moments for your own schooling context, or to be able to create like a digital portfolio that you might use to accompany your job CV or resume there as well. Here's some of the cool things that we can do using Canva websites. One of the things that I really like is my insights. When I create a website and I share it with a school, say if I go to an Outback Queensland school and I share it, a month or so later, I'll open up that website And I love to see that randomly it's been shared with someone in Singapore, or somebody in India, and we've got people all around the world who are accessing this content, leveling up and upskilling in their knowledge of Canva, because I can grab all of that data and all of those insights from my original template. I can see who spent, how long somebody spent on that, on particular pages, and where in the world, and what kinds of devices or software they were able to access that through. So if they clicked on it through a social media post, or if it was a direct link from an email, whatever it may be, I just love that function there as well. I love the ability to make things interactive as well, with animated, imagery, or being able to drop in hyperlinks or videos to make it a really interactive experience. So never have to start from scratch. We do have more than 2,000 templates that you can customize. So what I'm going to get you to do is open up your Canva. So down the left-hand side, it says Home, Projects and Templates. So for those who are new to Canva, I'm going to blow your mind here. Not now, but a little later on. Jump in there and you can look for all of the cool things. If you're a primary school teacher, you can type in multiplication chart. If you're a high school teacher, you can type in English language or literature or something, and you'll be able to find a whole bunch of curriculum aligned resources. But for this particular session, we're focusing on websites. So within the template marketplace, all I need to do is type in a website into my search. And the reason I've asked you to come to this is because in the template marketplace, we have the option for additional filters here. So I can really siphon down and really get myself a really specific template that might be of a specific style or content there that I really want. But we're just going to have a little dive, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to type in website and apply some filters to really find something that you like and that speaks to you and your style. So you might want something that's simple and modern. You might want it to have animation in there. Don't think too much about grades, because we can go in there and we can completely edit the content within there. Colors we can change as well. And when I click apply, you'll be able to see I have 971 different websites that I can use that use those filtering options. But jump in there and just spend a minute or two looking for a website design that speaks to you. And I'll just jump into the chat if anyone has any questions. I am a previous kindergarten teacher, so I love all things colourful and rainbow. I'm sure you'll be able to figure out which one on this page I'm going to select for my demonstration. It's front and centre, lots of colours. Absolutely. Once you've found one you like, you simply tap on it. You'll be able to then see a preview of it. If it's got multiple pages, you'll be able to tap into those other pages down the bottom. You'll also be able to see the creator, and you'll be able to look at that creator and see if they've got other things that you like. But if you want to then customize this template, let's click on this big purple button. So I'll just take you back a step. You find the template you like, and we're making sure we've all looked for a website template, and we click on it. And to take it out of the home page or the search page and into the editing space, I need to click on Customize this template. Once we have clicked on that button, you'll notice that I'm now in a whole different space. So for my friends that have joined today who are a sort of a comfort level with Canva about a 1, this is my editing space, and this is where I can do all of the magic to make this my own website. So Canva has lots of different template types. If I come in here into my editing space and I've chosen a website, I can actually come in here, and if I think to myself, this isn't really sort of one that I really wanted, I can, from the design button in the top left-hand corner here, I can actually search for other templates or other website designs from that button. So if you want to jump on over to the left-hand side and click design, you can type in here, you might type in sleek, and all of your sleek designs will pop up. You might type in animated, You can get animated website designs that way. Maybe if you want something that's school-based, we can type that in there. Or resume, let's see what they've got there, digital portfolio style there as well. So you can completely remove this template and add a new design, or you can have multiple pages built out here as well. Underneath design, we have our elements button, and this is where we can add all of the awesome things to really make this our own. So this is a design here that has a photograph of a random lady who's not me. So I would obviously want to add my own photo here. I would want to change this text to have my name. I would want to add maybe my own photos or my own imagery into here as well. So Elements gives me that functionality. I can search for pictures. So if I want to type in school kids, I can find cartoon pictures here. I can find photos. I can even add animated videos. So all I have to do to add any of these pictures into this space is to simply tap on them, and it will drop that straight into my design. So have a go. You might find a picture or a photo that you really like, and you can drop that into your space. Now, don't worry too much about what your website looks like. Today, we're just playing, so it doesn't need to look neat and tidy. For this particular one, I've added a video here that has an awful white background, and I can simply click on this button up the top that says BG Remover, and that's my background remover. And now I actually have a much cleaner looking video that I can then reposition on my page there as well. So that's a really cool little tip that you can use for any of the photos or the videos that you find. You can click on background remover to have an isolated image. So this particular girl here, she's an isolated image. She may have had that photo taken in front of a brick wall, and we've removed that ugly brick wall, and now she's the focus of that picture. So I'm going to take you back a step for that. If I head to Elements on the left-hand side, this is where I can find all of the tools and pictures and videos that I want to add into this space. So if we type into here, I just typed in school kid, but if I just type in an animal's name, so if I type in wombat, which is my favorite animal, if I type in wombat here and I find a picture that I like of a wombat, I can simply tap on that picture and it will insert into that space. But if I find maybe a photo or a video that I'd like to remove the background of, so removing the background from one of these graphics is not going to work because they're basically an isolated image as it is. But if I found a photo of a wombat that I really liked there, and I think, oh, that's a really cute wombat, but I don't want the background of that image. Once I tap on that picture that's in my space here, I can click on this button in the floating toolbar along the top that says BG Remover, and BG is background. And once I tap on that, it is going to super quickly, literally within milliseconds, take away the background of that picture. And that just means that you have a really focused image. So if this is a picture of yourself and you've taken a selfie in front of a brick wall, you can remove that picture, that background, and have just you as that focus there as well. You can do exactly the same with videos. So if you wanted something that was animated, you can jump in here. If I type in dinosaur, I'm going to just remove my wombat. I just threw my wombat to the side there to get rid of him. If I don't want him anymore, I just throw him to the side and he's completely gone. But if I find a picture of this scary dinosaur here and I want to be able to remove that awful blue background and impose him on something else, I simply tap the video, click background remover, and it's going to remove the background from that video as well. So hopefully you've been able to grab a picture there from graphics, photos, and videos and insert that into your space and remove the background there too. Okay. So on my design here, I can add additional sections and pages in a website simply by clicking on this add section. So if you want to go ahead now and click on that button that's underneath your main design there, you can add another section, and this will, when you open up your website, become a long scrolling page. So what I love about this is that I could create this particular template here with hyperlinks to different sections on my document. So if I were to tap on this green section here, I might end up on this page. If I were to tap on the yellow section, I might end up on a different section here as well. So let's just have a practice of adding, and I'll just delete those sections.
There's just a couple of questions. So to maybe a little bit later, can you show us how to make a video continuous, if that's possible? Presume that's if it's a GIF. And then is there an easy way to get the background back?
Yes. Okay, perfect. Absolutely. I can do that right now. What I'll do, and I probably should have done this before, is inserted the video or the photo on top of a blank page just to make it a little bit easier for you to see. When you actually publish this, this website, that video will be automatically playing. So because you're in edit mode, it will stop and start. You will have to press the play button, but once it's published, it will be a video that is playing by itself. If with a video or a photo that we have removed the background of, so if I click background remove here and I think, oh, you know what, don't really like what I've done there, I can head up to the back button here just to remove that. But simply tapping on that is going to, if I click on BG Remover, I can reinstate that background there as well. So that is worth noting that there's a couple of ways that you can bring back the background from a photo or a video there as well. So if I remove that background, I could impose this little kid into a prehistoric setting if I wanted to make it a really fun and authentic sort of video there. But once I have clicked on my publish button, which I'll show you soon, that will be a continuous play. I created one and it has a connect with me and some little icons. How do you add links to these? Great, this is exactly what I'm coming back to. Great question. So let's just create a second page here. So let me just quickly delete that page. Once I add a new section here, if I would like to hyperlink a color or some text or an icon in this question, then I am able to do that. Okay, so if I wanted to make this my green page, let me show you a cool step to help make that particular color. When I tap on this new section that I've created, I get this little floating toolbar along the top here. And when I click on that, it will give me suggestions of the colors that are already being used. So I love this because it then means that you can color code your different sections. So if I want this page to be green, I simply tap on that and then I can add all of the things that I need in here. So I might add my photo, a bio, a little video or a chart or a graph or something within here. Yes, there are gradients down here as well. So if you keep scrolling down, you'll notice that there's some preset gradients in here as well. But if I would like to hyperlink this particular page here to this section, firstly, Canva has grouped this one. So I'm going to ungroup it just to save myself a little bit of hassle. Canva likes to group some things and sometimes it can sort of confuse the end user there. So I've just ungrouped it. And if I want to hyperlink this page here, this section here, so that I can scroll directly to this green page, I simply tap on either the text or the color, and I can then link by clicking on those three little dots. I can link it to a specific page. So if I have a look here, I'll just take you back a step. I've added a new section here and I want to link this section here. Now, I may not have text. I might have an icon. So if I type in dinosaur icon here, I might have added an icon, and I can hyperlink text, the box, or the image there, so that when the user taps on that, it will take me to that specific page. So let's have a practice of that now. If you would like to either tap on a color, some text, or a picture, you click on those three little dots there, and you can then link from that drop-down menu to a certain page here. So let's open that up, and I'm going to link it to this second page here and click done, so that when my user comes in, it is now linked to that page. Shall I give you a moment to do that? It's up to you if you would like to link a picture or some text, or if you have lots of boxes there, you can link any part of this to different pages there as well. And we can continue to build out additional sections.
There's one more question, Jo. If you wanted to put a link for an email, do you need to do anything, or will Canva automatically recognise that as an email?
It does. And I love this question because I was just playing around with this yesterday. If I was to have the word email here, or contact me, or whatever it may be, when I tap on that and I click the three little buttons, instead of linking to an actual page here that's in my website, I can simply type in the email like this. And when I click enter, it actually inserts that mail to little instructional bit there, so that when we click on that, it'll actually turn into an email there, and it'll actually open up that email there, so that we can contact that person straight away. So you don't actually have to put in that mail to colon. It'll actually figure that out by itself, which is a pretty nifty little way for you to be able to hyperlink a contact button in there. Not the same for phone numbers, obviously, but you can put your contact details into, maybe if you have a link tree or you have a website, you can do exactly the same. So if I wanted to grab today's session, I have a link here, and I can put in here resources. And this is just a different way to link. So we've linked a section or a page, we've linked an email. But if I want to link a web page within here as well, I simply tap on the word that I'd like to hyperlink, and I can either, if I'm a guru at control paste and control copy paste, and with my control C's and my control V's, I can simply control paste that way, and you'll see it's now hyperlinked that link in there and underlined it as well. Or I can go to my three dots and just do that extra step of clicking on link and pasting that link in there as well. So then that becomes a really easy way for us to be able to open up a link simply by hyperlinking text or a picture or an element on that page as well. I love, Abigail, you are so good at putting these little cheat sheets in here. So do keep your eye on that chat. If you, because we have lots of questions coming through and I'm bouncing around a bit. There we go. So hyperlinking is a really good way for us to be able to outsource or bring other content into our space here as well. So I'm actually going to get you to create a couple of pages here now. So 2 or 3, just keep adding the extra sections, and you can color code them to different colors if you want to, just so that you're able to easily determine that they are different pages. And then I'm going to show you a really cool feature with Canva in regards to being able to customize the length of these pages as well. Today's video is being recorded, but I also have all of these step-by-step instructions for you in a deck that I'll share very soon. So just add a couple of pages there. You can practice hyperlinking those pages so that they become clickable pages. Once you have then shared this or published this, your user will be able to tap on that color and it will go to a certain page there as well.
Jo, I don't think there is, but we've got a question about whether there's any limits to how many links you can add.
I have never, I think it might be 100, please don't quote me. I have put in copious amounts and never ever broken the system. So I'm not sure when you would ever need to use more than 100, but I feel that that might be it. And I can verify that actual number with you, but I know that I've put in dozens and dozens and dozens, and I've never had a problem. So just add a couple of different pages there. And what I'll get you to do is you have the option down the bottom here to scroll in and out so that you can see your scrollable page there at a glance. So if you want to scroll out so that you can see a couple of your different pages there, I've color coded mine just for the ease of you being able to see the different sections that I've added. What I love about this is that if you wanted to have, say, an acknowledgement of country straight under your title there, but you didn't want it to fill a bigger space, if you just had a few lines for your acknowledgement of country there, you can easily change the length or the height of your page by grabbing the base of it and moving it up and down. So that's a really neat way for you to be able to have different sections of different sizes. So you could have a smaller one here, and then you might have lots of information about you in the next one. Then you might have some photos there, so you don't want it to be just as big. You want to have it a smaller section there. And you can continue to customize the size of your pages. And I just find that by zooming in and out here, makes your life a little easier in being able to see how big and small those pages are. So definitely utilize your zoom down the bottom there. Have a little practice now of just customizing and changing the sizes of your sections there. And then another really cool thing that we can do before we've published this page is we can name each of the different sections here, and then we can hyperlink them in our publish button. So I'll show you that in a moment. Hopefully, Abigail, you can remind me of that. But let's just put a little bit of content into each of these pages so that we can see what our website will look at when we go to publish it. The first thing that I would suggest you do is to give it a title, because that is going to be something that you're going to see when you go to publish that. So I'm just going to jump into this big blue banner along the top here, and I'm going to say Jo's Digital Portfolio. You can give it whatever name you like. You just double tap into that text box and you can change the name of that template. Then jump into any of those additional sections that you've added. And I'll give you a couple of cool little tips. If you want to add a text box, you don't have to jump over to the text box over here. You can simply tap the letter T and it will insert a text box straight into your design. So add the letter T and you can then double tap in there to add your own content. So I'm going to add a bio here. Add my content there.
We got one question about the difference between adding sections and pages.
Absolutely. Yep, I'm about to go into that. So let's add a little bit of content in each of these, and then I'll show you what the purpose of pages serves here. So I'm just going to add a text here. On the next page, I'm going to add a photo of me. So let me find a photo that I've uploaded. There's my photo. And in this one, I'm going to add some pictures.
And then someone's asked for you to show the hyperlinking again. So maybe while people are adding text, if you could possibly go through that again, that would be helpful.
Of course, yep. So a couple of ways to hyperlink. If I would like to hyperlink a part of my title page here to a different section within here, I simply tap on maybe the text or the picture, whatever it is that I would like my user to be able to click on. And when I tap on that, you can, I'll just zoom in so you can see it a bit better. You can see there's 3 dots there. And when you tap on the 3 dots, you get all of this drop down menu here. And there's a button there that says link. When I click link, I can then go down to where it says pages in this document, and I can choose the section that I'd like to link that to. So that's how we can hyperlink to a part of this, this document. But if I would like to hyperlink a contact email, I simply maybe put the word contact me here. And what I'll do is I'll actually break this link to quickly show you. There we go. Okay, so I've written the word contact me, and I'd like to be able to hyperlink my email in here now. So I simply tap on that contact me text box. I'm going to click the 3 little dots to find the link button there. And then I'm going to type in my email address, or if it's a website, you could put the same in there. And once I click enter, it is going to automatically hyperlink my email address to that text. I can also do the same with any other websites. So if I grab a website here, I grab the text that I'd like to hyperlink. So I might say website here or access website here, and I can either paste that link straight into there, or again, I can click on the 3 little dots, find that link button and paste that in there. So there's always 2 or 3 ways to do everything in Canva. My suggestion is get really savvy at using your Control-C to copy and your Control-V to paste, because that is just a nice little shortcut. I can simply Control-V to hyperlink my website straight into that text box there. So we had a question about sections versus pages. If your design looks a little different to mine, and all you see is one long scrolling document, I'm going to get you to head on down to the bottom right-hand corner where it says pages here. And when you click on pages, you're going to have your design in your main space, but you'll also be able to see a thumbnail preview of all of the different pages that you have in here as well. So that's my suggestion just for your workflow and your management, is to always have your thumbnail view turned on. And to access that, you click on that little button down the bottom that says pages. Now, this is where I can add additional pages simply by clicking on that plus button, and I can add extra pages. And basically, what this means is on this original page, this is my web page. Now, if you're thinking about a general web page, you might scroll up and down. At the bottom, you usually find the, your contact information. You find all your information in the middle, your big header at the top. But if there's any pages on there that you wanted to link out to, so to give them additional information, you would link that to a different page. So it would actually open up a new web page for that user, and it would take them away from this main scrolling page. So that is the difference between having your sections on your main page, and then we can hyperlink to different pages that when the user taps on it, it will actually open up a new page. And what I actually think I'll do here is demonstrate a web page that I've created in the past and how it's going to link to different pages. So just give me a moment and let me open up a web page that I've created. So this is a Code for Me web page, and I'm happy to provide this link for you at the end. But this just shows you how I've got a long scrolling page here. You can see I have all my different sections here. They're all color coded. I've got pinks, purples, blues, yellows, and oranges. They're my different sections. But if I wanted my user to go to a new page, I've hyperlinked. So if you have a look here, you can see I've hyperlinked this box here. And when I tap on it, it actually opens up a new page for me. So I'll show you how to hyperlink in a moment. But let's just have a look again. Here's my long scrolling page. It's like my home page of my website, but I want to go out to other pages with additional information. I can hyperlink and it takes me to a whole new page. So for those that do want access to this, I will drop this into the chat. It is completely irrelevant, but it does show you how a website is built using Canva. So let's have a look at how we can add pages and hyperlink those pages within here. So if I was going to create a bio here and I say to my user, see resume here, I might want to add my resume into this space for my future employer to be able to jump in and to be able to have a look at my CV that is hyperlinked within my website. So to do that, make sure, let me take you back a step, that we are in our thumbnail view by clicking on that pages button so that I can see my thumbnail here. And then simply click on this add page plus button. So let me give you 30 seconds to do that now. We're in our thumbnail view. Let's click on add page. It's typically a white blank page. We would add all of our information here. So we might drop our CV in here. We might be putting a video slideshow of our accomplishments in here. Maybe it's going to be a written reference from a friend, whatever it may be. So I want to be able to hyperlink this page. Thank you so much, Tanya. That's totally fine. Hopefully you'll be able to watch the recording and see the end of this later on. But when I want to hyperlink this page here, the first thing that I would suggest you do is we would like to name this page. So there's a couple of ways that we can name this. Down the bottom, you'll see it says page 1, it says page 2, and I can, and it's really tricky for me to be able to show this to you. There we go, I'm going to zoom in. I can, next to that number, just click into there and I can give it a name. So I might write CV here. And it is really important that if you have multiple pages that you actually name them, because then you'll be able to easily find these pages and hyperlink them when you go to the link function. So if I want to add a second page here and have slideshow video, I can type that into there as well. If it's a little bit tricky for you to see, to make sure that you have actually written that word properly, let me show you a second way. I love when I zoom in and then I can't actually get back to my document. My apologies, I'm going to have to reopen this page. Okay, let's reopen it. Another way that you can access your different pages to be able to label is not from that thumbnail view down the bottom, but down the bottom, you'll see where it says pages, and then you'll see a cluster of 4 squares. And that actually gives you a grid view. And I find that this is a much easier way for you to be able to label each of your pages. So let me take you back a step. You've got your thumbnail view here turned on. And next to where it says pages, there's a cluster of 4 little dots. Click on that and you get like a snapshot or an overview of your entire template. And this way we can simply jump into here and we can write our different page names in there too. It's an unlikely, oh, okay. I'm glad to know that, Melissa. That's good to know, because I often have trouble with my zooming function. Okay, so that's a much easier way. I might even put in that first page, home page or landing page, just so that I know if I need to hyperlink that button there as well. So have a go at adding just a couple of different pages there, and then go into your grid view to label them. If you have labeled them, you can add some content to those pages there just to have a little practice while we wait for some of our friends to label their pages as well. So you can jump into elements and you can add all sorts of cool things just to make it look interactive and fun. Just have a little play around adding some elements to your different pages. So it makes it a lot easier when you go to link, you can see which page is what.
Jo, we've got another question around section length. Are there any guidelines around how long you should make it? I know that there is a section limit in Canva because the template I opened had already met that limit, but is there any rules around how long the website should be?
I know that this first page here, most of your most of the people that come and visit you are going to spend most of their time on those first couple of pages. If they're bored, they're not going to keep scrolling. I know that we can add, I think it's 12. Let me just double check. Yep, see how I've maxed out? Let me see how many sections that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've maxed out on 10. So I can only get 10 pages in there. To me, the more punchier your first few pages are, the more you're going to hook that viewer. I know that when I've gone to analytics and data on people looking at my web pages, most people spend the most amount of time on my first few pages. So that is just a good rule of thumb. Get your really important information across the line in those first few pages. You can add as many pages there as you want, but you'll only get 10 sections there. My suggestion would be one of those sections could very well be a thank you contact button at the bottom. It might be very small. So, you know, depending on how much information you want to add, get the important stuff in those first few sections and then link out to additional pages, and you can have multiple, you can have, you know, hundreds of pages linked if you need to. That could potentially be very overwhelming, I would imagine, but yes. Did I sort of answer your question there? I hope I did. Yeah, in terms of functionality and just hooking your reader, definitely make the punchiest few pages there, your ones that get your message across. Cool, thank you. All right, so hopefully you've added the names to different sections there. And I'll give you another minute just to add a little bit of content to each of those pages. So just have a look under elements, especially if you're a new friend to Canva today. Have a look under elements and just look at some of the cool things that we can do. We can add charts and graphs, frames. Frames are really cool for adding pictures and videos to, tables, charts, you know, all the cool things. Just have a little play at adding a couple of things in there. I love that. Yeah, sorry, my Code for Me website was irrelevant to this particular session in that it's not an AI session, but yes, it's relevant in that it is a website. And I can actually show you the analytics from that in a moment. So give you guys just another minute to add some content to your pages, and then I'll show you how to hyperlink, and then we can go in and look at how to publish that website. Whilst you're just adding some content, I'll actually find that Code for Me site and show you how we can access analytics. So for those who wanted to see how that website was actually built, you can see here that this is my home page, my landing page. I have my different sections here. I then added a whole bunch of different websites into here. So I just copied and pasted the websites into this, into these different sections. But then I created the prompts, like I wanted the user to be able to find the prompts that I wrote, and I added the prompts to all of these additional pages, and I hyperlinked that prompt box there, that sort of instructional box there, to the different pages. So let me show you how to do that now. I'm hoping that we've all added some extra pages here. And what I'm going to do is from that home page here, so you have your thumbnail view, just click on that first page there, and I'm going to click on the text there and hyperlink this text to that first page. So simply tap on that text box there, click on the 3 little dots, and then you can click on link, and you can change you can then click on each of those different pages there and hyperlink that text to that particular page. So I'm going to hyperlink this text to my resume page and click done, so that when I go into preview mode or once I've published it, my user will then be able to jump to that page there simply by tapping on that text box. The hyperlink is not linking to a specific color. Did you tap on, without seeing yours, it's a little bit tricky to determine. So if I clicked on this color here, it would go to that page. And if I wanted to tap on this color here, I would link it to this page. Is that sort of what you mean? You need to link, you'll need to link your different colors to your different pages there. If you hover over it, is there a blue writing which appears? Yeah, so when you know that you've hyperlinked something here, because when I tap on it, I can see that that's linked to that resume link there. We may not have hyperlinked properly.
Sabrina, I'll send some more detailed instructions when I send my follow-up email out tomorrow. So hopefully if you're struggling today, you'll be able to fix them up tomorrow.
Awesome. Okay, so let's just have a practice at linking a couple of different things. So you might want to link text. You might want to link a picture that you've added or an icon or an element that you've added. Just practice hyperlinking a couple of things. So maybe this maths one for some reason isn't working. Just try linking something else and we'll try and figure out what's happening there. So I'm going to click this picture, click on those three dots, and I'm going to link that to my slideshow page. I'll know it's linked because I have that blue writing up the top. I click done so that when I come and tap on that picture of me and I click that link, it's going to take me to that page there as well. So just practice linking just a couple of different things in there. I'm going to link this dinosaur now to my final page so that all of my pages are linked. Now, as you're doing that, if anybody else has finished, let me show you where I can grab the analytics. So you guys will be able to see your analytics from up here, but of course you haven't yet published this website, so you don't have any analytics. But if we want to have a look at one that I've made before, we can have a look at the analytics of that as well. Simply by opening up your original document and then tapping on that analytics button. I created this as a website, so I'm going to have a look at my analytics there. And what I love is that I can actually toggle between just the past week, the past month, past 3 months, or all of time. So I actually can see that this has been accessed 1,322 times. What date was the most popular? Countries, look at that. We've been accessed in some random places. I love this so much. I love these analytics, gives me lots of information. People have clicked on the link directly or accessed via Facebook and Google. So lots of information there as well.
Jo, can you export those analytics?
Great question. I've never tried. I would love to know if I can. I'm going to follow that up and find out for you because I'm not seeing a button here where I can actually export that. I have just tended, when somebody's asked me for some analytics, I've tended to just take a screenshot, but exporting it would be so much more helpful. Let me find out for you. I'm not finding a way on here to be able to do that. But that would be even great as a suggestion for me to take back to the team. That would be great. Okay, so hopefully you've been able to link your pages. We've only got a minute, so I'll quickly show you how we can now publish this. Under the share button, firstly I want to preview it. So I'm going to click on preview. And when I include my navigational menu here, it refers to these buttons up the top. And this is why it was really important that we named each of those pages there, so that we can easily tap in and out of the different pages from that hyperlinked section up the top. So it's really important that we do turn that on. You can also have it so it resizes on a mobile device. So that's definitely worth checking your preview. But then when we click share, I would like to publish this as a website. So I click on this website button here, and I can customize the back end of my link. But it's really important that if you are the first person in your school to publish a website, you're using a school account, the very first person to publish a website is the person that determines the name of that Canva website. So please, 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 can you name it your school's name? Because if you name it your name, going forward, every student and teacher that ever publishes a website is going to have your name in it. So it's really important that the very first person that publishes a website from a school account uses the school name in that first half of the website there. So mine says Canva CLC. Please don't put your personal name there. Please ensure it's your school name. But then you can customize the end of that website, that web domain there, and make it completely personal for every single website that you ever create. You can then simply click publish, and it becomes its own website that you're ready to share with the wide world. And you can make that website be password protected and a Google searchable one, or you can make it private so that only those with access to that link can access the website there as well. So I know we've run out of time. My apologies for keeping you over. I will drop the link for today's session into the chat, but Abigail will also ensure that you do get access to that as well. And I know she's probably going to want to drop in, and I'm sorry about having to, you know, cut that very short, but there is step-by-step instructions within here and some play-alongs as well. So I'm going to hand back over to Abigail.